Well, hello, hello, hello. This is Apostle Carla Runner, and I am the National Director for the WW3 Prayer Initiative. I am so excited to introduce to you for our session number 2 of our Fight Like a Girl boot camp. This is Amy Turk. And Amy, I'm going to read you a little bit of her bio in just a moment. But let me first say that she is our leading state delegate for the great state of Idaho. Woohoo! And so she is just a bundle of fun. And I'm so excited to have her here. She's going to share some really important health tips for you. You know, our Fight Like a Girl boot camp is a 6-week program that is going to be not taught by me. I may do a session or two, but we have some really amazing and anointed women of God who are a part of this initiative and who are going to bring you their knowledge, their wisdom, their anointing, their grace, and share with you things that are pertinent to building yourself up, spirit, soul, and body, because we are 3-part beings. You know, we were created in the image of God, who is spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Father, the Son. So we too were created in 3 parts: our spirit, our soul, and our bodies. And so since the body carries all of the other stuff around, I thought that it would be really important for us to focus on the body first. So let me just show you the rundown for our Fight Like a Girl boot camp. We just got started this week. So this is week 1. And week 1 is the body. So you can see we have 6 weeks scheduled out, and it's scheduled to end the Saturday before our event. So this is the breakdown. Week 1, we are focusing on the body, health, and wellness. It's very important that we get these bodies in shape and strong so that we can carry the anointing that is upon our lives, okay, and not faint in the process. So I have issued a challenge, a 6-week challenge, so that we keep this body thing going the whole time, okay? This week, we've been blessed to have 2 health coaches who are coming to us to help us to get some real good tips and real good understanding of some things we can do to increase our wellness, from the head to the toe. But our 6-week challenge is this. If you have been like most of us, and I won't say all, because I'm not including myself in all of that, because I do some movement, okay? But if you have been living more of a sedentary lifestyle, and a lot of times those of us who are spirit-filled believers, we have a tendency to focus on the spirit only. We forget that we've got a soul that needs complete salvation and a body that does too. So for the first 2 weeks of this 6-week boot camp, I am challenging you to get up and get moving for at least 10 minutes, 2 days a week. So if you do nothing more than get out your door and walk, or if you have a treadmill in your house or an elliptical or any such thing, stationary bicycle, whatever it is, I challenge you to 2 days a week, get moving for at least 10 minutes a day. That's the first and second week. The third and fourth week, you're going to increase that to 3 days a week. Okay. So weeks 3 and 4, 3 days a week. Now, weeks 5 and 6, we're getting close to going to battle, and so I challenge you to 4 days a week, weeks 5 and 6. And I promise you, you may struggle a little bit that first week. You might get winded if you haven't been out walking. And I'm not talking strolling along. I'm talking, a brisk walk, so that you really get your cardio up. It's important that you increase your stamina. Okay. You can't go on the battlefield weak and wimpy. Okay. Because you are fighting a real enemy out here, and he does not play fair. He's that kick the sand in your face on the beach bully kind of devil. Okay. So you have got to be armed and ready for battle. Amen. So That's your 6-week challenge. And then we will go, let me put that flyer back up for just a moment. Then we go from weeks 2 through 5, focusing on the spirit. And we will probably do 2 sessions a week through those weeks. A couple of those topics may have more than one session. Okay. And then week 6, we will be focusing on our soul, overcoming triggers, and the importance of fasting to get this body under subjection, this flesh that includes your soulish realm. Amen. So that's our lineup. I will ask you to pay attention to a couple of other things. You can be sure that you will get all of the information that we put out if you go to our website, and that is www.wailingtowarring.com. All of our upcoming Zoom meetings, the links are on there. Anything else that's pertinent, we have t-shirts and ball caps that you can wear to the state capitol, because we will be dressed for battle. We'll have our war clothes on. So you want to be, in sync with women all across all 50 states of this great nation, plus the District of Columbia. And we will be in camo and army green, and we are that Psalm 68:11 army of women that God is raising up in this hour. He said we are his secret weapon. So be dressed the part on September the 16th. So on September the 16th, that is a Saturday, and on the Hebrew calendar, it is the beginning of the new year. You will put on your battle gear and show up at your state capitol and join with your state's leading delegate for this prayer initiative. I also invite you to join our Facebook page if you have not already, and that is Wailing to Warring Ministries. And so you can go on Facebook and join us there. So I think that's all of my, oh no, let me mention one more little housekeeping item before I turn it over to Amy. We are still needing state leaders for the following states. We are so close to having all 50 states, but we need state leaders in Alaska, Nevada, North Dakota, Nebraska, Washington State, West Virginia, New Jersey, Wisconsin, Vermont, and Rhode Island. So if you are in one of those states and you say, hey, you're talking to me, please reach out to me via Facebook, through Messenger, or you can leave me a message on the Wailing to Warring Ministries page, or connect through wailingtowarring.com. It'll let you email me. But please reach out ASAP. Or if you know somebody who you think would be great to lead their state, please reach out and let us know. So I think that's all of my housekeeping notes. So without any further ado, let me tell you a little bit about this dynamo who is about to coach you this evening. Amy is a holistic health coach and certified foot zone practitioner, and she's going to tell you what that is. She loves to come alongside women and guide and empower them on the journey to better their health. She has worked in the health and wellness industry for 24 years. So, y'all, she knows a little something, okay? She lives in Boise, Idaho. Amy loves to garden, cook healthy meals, and care for her dogs and birds. She has been married 28 years and has 2 adult daughters. She believes in habit change and that the body has the ability to heal itself when using different modalities. And so I'm going to let her finish her bio for you and introduce her topic for this evening. And I'm going to go to the green room and take it away, Amy.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. The green room. Does that mean you're in that little green stripe with me still? You're still with me though. Anyway, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I get to talk about something that may seem really, really basic, but I guarantee there's things that we can always be learning, especially if we're hungry for knowledge and wisdom and we're coachable. There's always something to learn, and I'm a lifelong learner. Like I said, I've homeschooled my kids for about 8 years. The girls are 22 and 24. No grandbabies yet. They're both still at home, which is amazing. One's an esthetician and one is in licensed massage therapy school. And so it's really fun at our house because we have a lot going on. You can come for a massage, a facial, a foot zone, which is what I do. I specialize in is moving lymphatic fluid. So what a foot zone does is it brings the body, the entire body, and all the systems in the body into balance. So I work on all four sides of the foot. And like I said, it brings the body into balance and homeostasis, which is so critical. So my favorite system of the body is the lymphatic system. I love them all. And, but my favorite to geek out on is the vagus nerve, the central nervous system, the brain, and especially the lymphatic. Digestive, they're all super important. But the one thing that I get to have the privilege of talking to about today is, like I said, water. And did you guys know, this is mind blowing? So we have 2 to 3 times as much lymph fluid in our body floating around underneath our skin, lymphatic fluid, than we do blood. That is a lot. And I foot zone a lot of people, and I, what manipulate, open up the lymphatic places on the foot, and then I push lymphatic fluid around so that the body can come back into healing, get out of fight or flight, and get into rest and digest mode. So, anyway, yeah, water is absolutely critical. And I know, like I said, it sounds basic, but it's so not, because we most people I know are walking around dehydrated, and like, you may or may not even know like how much water to drink. What if I live in a place where I sweat all the time? You may be in Florida, you may be in a dry climate like Nevada or Arizona, and you're still sweating, but it's just evaporating really, really super fast. So anyway, to get started, I hope that everybody has a glass of water. And if you don't like drinking water, I promise you there are so many ways. You can put berries in it. You can put like lemon slices. That's further alkalizes it. I love cucumber and lemon, and I have rosemary and mint and all kinds of stuff. But um, anyway, I hope everybody either has or is getting up to get a big glass of water right now. So with that, I want to stay on track and be honoring of your time. I know it's Friday, and so let's jam on this. So our body is 70% water, and guess what? So is the earth. Isn't that so cool? I like that. That came to my attention last night. Like, I forgot, and so yeah. So our body and the earth is 70% water. So, it's so important to be hydrated at all times, every single day. Every single system of your body depends on how well hydrated you are. And so, when you don't have the right amount of water, all of your systems, your digestive, your respiratory, your cardio, your endocrine, the lymphatic will suffer, okay? Because dehydration and stress too. Stress is the absolute number one killer and of a lot of like diseases, but stress also, Rob, will throw your body into, being dehydrated. And so first I wanted to talk about how to source good water. And so, what is the worst thing is tap water. Okay. I mean, I get questions like, what about well water? Well water can be very, very good. But there's usually neighboring farmers that you're getting that runoff. There's lakes and streams that could affect well water. as well. So the what's in tap water, like we're in America, we think, oh my gosh, you know, what 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 could be wrong with our tap water, right? Well, over the last few years, I think everybody is very aware that it's not the greatest to drink tap water. So there's all kinds of things in it, and you can even get a tester. You can the things that they have found in tap water. There is pharmaceutical drugs. There is xenoestrogens, which you don't want to mess with, especially so those are fake estrogens. So if you're a man, getting xenoestrogens is never good, right? Because it's going to mess with your hormones. There's traces of birth control pills. That's never good. Um, there is fluoride in tap water. There's chlorine. There is heavy metals. There are rock minerals that your body just can't absorb. And there's antibiotics. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that, maybe the tap water system is trying to filter it out and use the chlorine and the fluoride and stuff, but it's never good for your body. I know that a lot of dentists and a lot of people are confused about the whole fluoride thing, but fluoride is never good for your body. It's okay to touch it with your teeth if you want to use fluoride toothpaste or whatever. The dentist says you have to have fluoride. Just don't swallow it. Okay. And like I oil pull every single day. I oil pull with curcumin. I oil pull with coconut oil. And it's very, very good for your mouth, because sometimes, you know, we have the water or the food that we may cook our dinner in, right? It might be a little bit used with tap water. So anyway, but we can do a lot. Like those things that I mentioned are not good things to put in your body. And some people like to go get bottled water from the store. Well, those have BPA. Plastic water bottles aren't the greatest idea because they carry a lot of, so what they do in America, because everything has to go speedy, speedy, fast, get it all out. Well, they put water into the heated, Aquafina, Dasani, all those water bottles, and they don't wait for it to cool. And so the heated water bottles gets into all those chemicals from the plastic. It gets into our water bottle or our water. So that's not the best idea to drink. So how do we get it away from it? What are we going to do? We've got all these chemicals that are in tap water that we can do our best to get away from, right? I have a Berkey system. You can have a water system for your house. Carla said she has one. I forget what it's called, but there's water systems. There's on the counter ones. There's ones in your fridge. There's all kinds of things you can do. You can remineralize your water. So there are options. And if you live in an apartment, or if you aren't, down to put a water filtration in your home, or you can't for some reason, if you don't own your home, then you know do what you can to clean your water. It's worth it if you can get one of those, because you're going to be thirsty every day. You're going to be drinking water every day. You're going to be cooking with it. You're going to be giving it to your plants and your animals. It's totally 1,000 million percent worth getting a water filtration if you can in your house. So but if not, you can go to treatment centers. There's treatments at water centers pretty much on every corner nowadays, on Albertsons or Wellness Water. Get distilled water. Distilled water is by far, or spring water. Distilled is the best in my opinion, because it's only water. There are no minerals. However, I'll teach you how to remineralize your water, but distilled water is just hydrogen and oxygen, nothing else, right? The steam distillation just gets, steams up the water, and what comes out of the water is nasty. That's for another conversation. However, it takes the vapor from the distillation process, so there's just nothing else in it except for water and oxygen. Okay, so distilled water. And then what you can do too is, I use the blue bottle. It's trace minerals. You can get it from the store, health food store. You can order it on Amazon. I use a lot of Redmond salt. I put it in my water in the morning. I put a little bit in my coffee. I cook with a ton of it. I am huge on Redmond salt. Not Morton's. Please don't use Morton's. There's a controversy on that, which I won't get into, but Redmond salt, a pink Himalayan salt, is by far the best salt you can do. And like I said, I have a ton of it every day, and I don't get dehydrated. It's so many minerals. My nails, my hair, my skin feels great, and my whole family says the same thing. So that's that's my plug on remineralizing your water just with Redmond salt. There's a lot of electrolytes. You can also get the little electrolyte packets from certain companies, and you can use that if that's something you choose. But honestly, minerals, electrolytes are just a fancy word to get you to spend a lot of money on electrolyte supplements when you can just use salt, like I just said. So also coconut water, watermelon, certain dairy products. I like I said, lemon. I like to use the blue trace minerals, um, because even if you are somewhere and you have no um, access to clean water, and you just are like, maybe you're on vacation and you just think like, okay, I'm going to go get my bottled water. At least bring your minerals with you, your salt or your trace minerals or whatever. And because there is still probably junk in the water, like just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's there. Kind of like Wi-Fi, right? It's still there just because we can't see it. And so there's always going to be the nano particles and the nanobacteria and just the funky junk that you don't want. So you can control what's going into your body, and you have to control what's in your body. So for an example, I like to use at a cellular level, and forgive me if I get too sciencey, but I'll give you the sciencey version and the easy version. So first I'll go with the sciencey version. So example, picture, okay, a lazy river, like we have a lot of rivers here. We like to go float the Boise River, and there's one in Cuna. There's rivers everywhere. It's beautiful. Picture yourself, okay, like the inner tube. So you're going down, you're floating down the lazy river, you're on your inner tube, um, and your cells in your body, right? Your cells in yours. We have millions and millions of cells in our body, and those are in our body, and they're floating down the interstitial fluid in our body, just like we are on the lazy river. Okay, so inside our cell, we have our endoplasmic reticulum, we've got mitochondria, we have the nucleus, the RNA, DNA, all of the things that make up our cells, liposomes, all those big words. But the most important by far, the most important part of the cell is water. It's the inside of the cell. So inside the cell is intracellular fluid. If that's dehydrated, that's not good, right? And so you have all your cells, they're just like you, floating down a river, and you've got a lot of people floating down the river, a lot of cells in your body. Well, what happens if those get clumped together? There's not enough water, the extracellular fluid in our body, lymph. And so if there's not a lot of space in between, they're going to get all clumped together, right? Like when people see them, they're on a river, and then they decide to get all together and put their coolers and their water bottles and like hold hands and like go down the water together, and then there's just this big clump. Same thing happens in our bodies, right? Like there's no fluid, there's no way for the nutrients to get carried into each part of the cell, because all these little cells are all stuck together because there's not enough hydration. So water conducts electricity. So your mom's always said, when you're a baby, drink your water, unless you were nursing, of course. That wasn't from day one. But water conducts electricity. One super important thing to know, though, water conducts electricity if there's minerals. Minerals are the spark of life. Super important to remember. So your brain, okay, is going 1,000 million miles a minute, million thoughts a day. The brain is sending electrical impulses through your body, through the nervous system, starting from the brain, the nervous system to your cranial nerves, and it carries, all the water and all the electricity to all of our whole body. Your nerves, especially your nerves, need water. Okay. So, but why does the water need to be pure? Because the water is absorbed into each one of our cells. And so if our cells, the cells need to be healthy for the rest of our body to be healthy. If our cells are bad from the very inside of the cell, the rest of our body, we're going to be dehydrated. We're going to be lacking nutrients. The food that we do eat isn't going to absorb well, the vitamins, minerals, all the stuff. And so so water has to be pure and clean in order to get in between, in between all of our cells. So you could take all the vitamins and minerals and eat super healthy, but if you're not hydrated enough, those minerals can be floating around the rest of your body and not even get into the inside of the cell where it's supposed to get. Okay, in order to be healthy. So drinking water, um, it's got to go into the very middle of each cell. Okay, so that's my that's my cell talk. I hope that made sense. I hope I'm not rambling, but an easier version, like you're going on a hike one day and you decide, okay, you're hiking along and you're sitting by this beautiful river. There's salmon jumping everywhere. There's fish, there's lily pads, there's flowers everywhere. Everything is just gorgeous and blue and just beautiful, right? And then you're just walking, you're hiking along, and then you get on look to your right, and then you see this body of water, and it's a pond, and it's stagnant, and there's algae everywhere, and there's no oxygen flowing. It's just kind of stagnant. It's just sitting there, and there's no fishies jumping out. There's no froggies. There's no lily pads. It's just this funky, junky, body of water. So I like in having healthy body, healthy water system, a fresh Alaskan river, right? Or a stagnant pond. So a stagnant pond is going to be junky. You're not going to absorb your minerals. You're not going to absorb, the good things. You're going to have brain fog. You're going to be sore joints. You're just going to not be at your best. And so I would rather be a beautiful, fresh Alaskan river with salmon mating and all kinds of just beauty and birds singing all around and fish jumping. And anyway, very descriptive today. Okay. Alaskan river, stagnant pond. What would you rather be? I know what I would rather be. So, but what most people don't know is like our cells, this is so amazing. Like God made us so good. Our cells are just like little mini humans. They're just like us. They have a digestive system. They have a respiratory system. They have a lymphatic, they have a structural system, just like we have a skeleton. And, it's so important that our cells, they're like little mini versions of us. Like they can't have gross fluid inside the cell, like, so drinking water is the most important thing for our body. It's just like air. Okay. And so I'm gonna keep on going and give you some more real life examples. So in our cells, if our cells are healthy and they do excrete just like we do, our cells are going to put out good stuff into the rest of our body, and then it'll help our cells just be like little happy floating around, not all stuck together. And so how much water, people say, oh, well, how much water? What's too much? What is good enough for me? What's good for me? What's good for my kids? Well, my rule of thumb, like by far, is 2 by 2. So um, two quarts by 2 p.m. So 64 ounces. It's just, I use mason quart jars, glass, and you can use a hydro flask. I think you can put, any kind of fruit, you put veggies in it, you put herbs, berries, whatever. But 2 by 2. So super simple way to do it is 2 quarts by 2 p.m. Everything else is a bonus. Now, most of us, we need about a gallon a day. That's always my goal, whether it's, winter or summer. It's a lot easier to drink water in the summer, but we need to be aware that we're doing, we're all that, because sometimes we don't even know we're sweating, and we do sweat in our sleep. So we wake up dehydrated. So it's super important to drink a lot of water right in the morning. So you're waking up all your cells, you're waking up your organs. Like I said, if you're waking up and you have a headache, or you're like, oh, you're not a morning person, light, you're just like grouchy, you got a headache in the morning, you're already dehydrated, because we do sweat in our sleep. And waking up, we're already dehydrated. So it's really important. So, I just say 2 by 2. And drink it in the morning. Get a glass. If you have to have a hydro flask, you always have your water with you. You can put stickers on your bottle and make it cute. Have it with you at all times, so you have no excuse to forget. And I always put a teaspoon, or well, not a teaspoon, but like an eighth to a quarter teaspoon of red Redmond salt in my water, so it's right next to my bed in the morning. Another typical example, if you don't know how much water you should drink, is half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 150 pounds, then 75 ounces. So cut that in half. If you weigh 200 pounds, half of 200 is 100. So 100 ounces of water a day. Easy to remember, but we have to drink it in the morning. Really, really important. Gets your bowel movement going, gets your urinary tract going, wakes up your organs, gets your digestive system. It just, for me, if I drink my water right away, I cannot not get up. Like, I can't hit the snooze button. I can't, I can't, it literally. So it's really important in the morning, because you are dehydrated in the morning when we wake up. And so, like I said, half your body weight in ounces. You can always tell you're hydrated by looking at your urine. If it's yellow, I don't encourage Gatorade, sugary drinks, Monster drinks, energy drinks. I don't, not advocate for those at all, because there's just so much junk in them, and God made us water, 70% water, for a reason. So that, didn't make Gatorade for, it's got sodium in it, the wrong kind. It's got, the artificial colors, flavors, just all the junk, like they glamorize all these crazy drinks by, like, Kobe Bryant and all these, rock stars drink these great drinks, and they probably really don't, because they're just being paid to advertise. And Olympics people and like people that are, in sports, they would probably never even put that in their body, but that's what they're paid, to be an example to our society. So anyway, it's really important to drink your water in the morning. Put it, like I said, you can decorate it, your glass. And also, this is really important too, if you're going to go on a hike, you're going to go on a hike tomorrow, it takes your body about a day to really, really get hydrated. So if I'm going to know if I'm going to go on hike, say at 4:00 today, and it's 2:00 right now, I'm not going to start drinking a ton of water now. I'm going to start drinking it yesterday. You know what I mean? And so it does take a good amount, especially if you're not really used to being a good water drinker to begin with. But and there's different ways to tell if you're hydrated too, by looking at your stool, color of your urine, all kinds of that fun stuff that I love to talk about, digestive health. But I just want to challenge you guys: 2 by 2, 2 quarts by 2:00. Anything after that is just easy, right? If you can get 2 quart jars, okay, you put whatever you want to put in it. I use all kinds of berry leaves. I use whatever's in my garden, like Carla. I mean, we might as well alkaline. That's a clean pool versus a mucky, stagnant pond.
Mm-hmm. Well, nobody wants to be a stagnant pond, for sure.
I want like beautiful salmon breeding in my
Right. Well, those are really, really great tips. And Amy, we just thank you so very much for your enthusiasm about water, because I think so many people just don't even think twice about it. I
No.
was just blessed to really be educated about water by a friend of mine who is also a health practitioner. And her big thing was, always good water. You have to have good water. If anybody was sick, that was the first thing she did, was she would bring
Yeah.
a big glass jug of good water for them to drink. And so I learned early on, about the importance of not just drinking water, but drinking good water.
Water. Yeah.
So I hope you guys were really paying attention and taking to heart these tips. I personally will not forget 2 by 2. Two
Two
by
by
two.
two.
That's just great. And I love simple nuggets that will stick with you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Thank you so much, Carla. I would love to just like if we can hear from everybody like in a week or so, or as the weeks go by, like how it affects how much drinking water affects your appetite too. Because like if
absolutely.
you drink your water in the morning versus like go straight to food, I'm hungry
It
all
makes a
day
big
long.
difference. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
You
your
know.
your appetite totally curbs when you started out with a big glass of water.
Mhm.
And the thing is, just put it right by your bed, right by on your nightstand, and definitely remineralize. So,
I have a big 32-ounce glass that I like to I just get it down, first thing in the morning. Just get
yeah,
that water down, you know,
yeah, it's
and before coffee or green tea or anything else, get that water in.
right,
So
especially
well,
before
it's been
coffee.
a wonderful, wonderful session, and we're going to wrap it up. Be
Yeah,
sure to tune in, you guys, to every session of this boot camp. If you don't catch it live, catch it on the replay, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is just under my name, Carla K Runner. Go to YouTube. You can catch these under the live tab, because this is actually streaming live to YouTube as well as to our Facebook pages. And so we thank you so much for joining us. Tune in again next week as we move into the spirit realm. And we just thank you so much. Thanks again, Amy, for sharing your expertise with us.
cheers, everybody, 2 by 2.
Cheers.
Water first
Blessings to
or coffee.
everyone. Drink your water.
Bye. Thanks, Carla.
Thanks, Amy. Okay, come on, thing.
So fun.